In this video, I'm going to teach you 8 simple band movements to help you achieve an upper body like Goku's. Hey everyone, my name is Devin Ricker and I'm a personal trainer and I love to help people get in shape from home. And one of the best pieces of cost-effective equipment are resistance bands. I love resistance bands because you can really travel with them anywhere, and you can buy an anchor and use them at the top of the door, the middle of the door, or the bottom of the door. And really you can anchor them anywhere, including under your feet. I'm gonna link my favorite bands in the description down below so you can grab a pair and follow along. So let's jump into it. Goku has a lot of amazing features, including massive shoulders, a really big chest, and great arms. I'm gonna divide our training into a push and a pull routine. And for each of those routines, I'm gonna give you 4 simple movements. So let's start with the push routine. The first movement is the band chest press. Now when you do this, you want to anchor the band somewhere around shoulder level and start out far enough to where you have resistance on the bands when you're starting. Your hands should be all the way back, really stretching out that chest and then pushing forward and then in, and that will really help squeeze the chest so you're getting a full extension and a full contraction of that pectoralis major. Next, we're going to go with band flies. It's a very similar movement except your arms don't bend at the elbow. So instead of pressing, you're actually going to be flying. And so what that looks like is you're starting with your arms out wide and you're gonna come in just like that. It's like you're giving someone a big bear hug. And that's gonna essentially do the same thing where you're extending the chest and then squeezing the chest at the front. Whereas the chest press really helps with the depth of the chest, this is gonna really help with the width of the chest. Next up, we have band tricep pushdowns. Some people also call these pull downs. For this movement, you wanna anchor the bands at the top of the door or somewhere overhead. And then from there, you're gonna have your elbows locked in at your sides, and then you're gonna have them at just slightly more acute than a 90-degree angle, and you can have your hands in close together, and then you separate them as you push them down and out. This is gonna be a really great exercise for tricep development. And finally, for the push part of the day, I actually like to include abs on this day because it's on the front half of your torso, just like your chest. So we're gonna do something called band crunches. Now what this does is it adds a little extra resistance to your normal crunch. Now when you do this, attach it under the door or somewhere close to the ground, and then you're gonna lay out a few feet from the band and then wrap it underneath you. You can go over as well, but I found that under the armpits and right around the chest is the best place to hold the band. And then from there, you're gonna crunch up about halfway and then back down with a full extension. I also like to add a pillow under my back so that I can extend the abs even more. Give this a shot. It's a killer ab exercise. I think you're gonna love it. Next up, we're going into the pull routine, which is basically your back and your biceps. For this routine, we're gonna start with band rows. Now the way I like to do this is start with your hands facing down close to the ground, and then you're actually gonna twist them as you bring them back. And I want you to stick your chest up and out towards the ceiling as you really arch your back and squeeze that back and then extend them at the front. This is a really great exercise for back development. Next up, we have band lateral raises. So with this exercise, you can either have the bands under your feet or at the bottom of the door or somewhere just low next to the ground. You're gonna start with your hands right in front of you or right at your side, and then you're gonna bring up the bands on either side of you to where your arms are about parallel to the ground. If you can go up a little bit higher, that works too. And then you're gonna lower them back down slowly and then come back up. You can even pause at the top for a split second, but you should really feel this in your shoulders or your deltoids. And this is gonna help with the illusion of having a little bit more width in your upper body, which is really good because Goku has a very aesthetic physique, meaning he has a really nice V-taper, and one quality to give you the illusion of a better V-taper is to have better shoulders. Next up, we're going with bicep curls. Now you can either stand on the band for this or put it under the door or also anchor it somewhere lower to the ground. And then with this, I like to actually twist the hands as I come up for a tight squeeze at the top and then extend my arms all the way to a full lockout and then repeat. Our fourth and final movement for the pull day are band face pulls. This is a really good movement for targeting the upper back and the rear delts. So this is a very similar movement to a band row, except now the bands are gonna be at the top of the door and you're gonna flare out the elbows just a little bit more. When you do this, try to pinch your shoulder blades together, especially at the top. Really hit the bottom and the middle of those traps. And you should feel a really good squeeze in between the shoulder blades. And then I want you to extend your arms all the way forward to get a really good extension, and then bring it back and contract those shoulder blades together and then extend and repeat. This is one of my favorite exercises for posture and for upper back development. And then we have a bonus exercise for you today. If you have a place to do pull-ups, I would recommend adding in wide grip pull-ups. The reason is because, like we talked about earlier with that aesthetic flow to your physique, building up the lats is just as important as building up the shoulders. Building up the lats will give you the illusion of a smaller and more narrow waist. So it gives you kind of more of that V shape. So in conclusion, we have our push routine and we have our pull routine. We have the band chest press, band flies, band tricep pushdowns, and band crunches. And then we have our second day, our pull day, which starts with band rows, then goes to band lateral raises, then goes into band curls, and finish off with band face pulls. And then if you have room or you have a place to do them, let's add in some pull-ups. So obviously this is a very simplified routine to help you look like Goku. I would probably stick somewhere around the 3 sets of 10 to 15 range just to keep it simple, and do this for about a month or 2 before changing up the routine. Give your body time to adapt. I've placed a link for the bands in the description down below, and if you want something a little more advanced, check out my ebook, Your Home Fitness Program, which I've linked in the description down below as well. It's a little bit more in depth on how to get in shape from the comfort of your own home. Keep in mind, to look like Goku, it's going to take a lot more work than just these exercises, but this will help start you on a really good path. And of course, it's important to make sure your nutrition is in line as well, and that you're on a solid and scientific program. Yo, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of program you would like to see in the comments down below. I'll catch you next time.